Okay.
All right.
Oh God!
Now, what was the sort of overall texture when we had it going? Yeah, that was nice. You sort of brought it down, a different shape from the last one where you brought most people down. Yeah. There's been many sort of pieces that people have worked on to kind of deal with the idea of a large amount of people improvising freely at the same time. One of the motivations of coming up with the dfscore system was to be able to use it as part of improv pedagogy. So being able to introduce people who are sort of new to improvisation or haven't done a great deal of improvisation, to introduce to them some of the concepts behind structuring material and time freely. For example, here you've got B, B, E flat, F, G. You can take that as a chord or sort of like a harmonic space and just kind of use some of those kind of notes. And then the soloist is sort of navigating this harmonic space, either moving it forward and then creating a structure dynamically by what you want to do. As an educator, it was really exciting to see how well they took to this kind of thinking about improvisation, having the freedom to do whatever it is they want, but within certain constraints that the system provided. It really let them think creatively in a manner that they hadn't really done before.
You have to think really, but in a different way from what you... Because normally you sort of try and let go of that sort of conscious bit as such, and then suddenly have to bring in that conscious thought of like, oh no, it's got to be do all that, but at the same time, these 5 notes only, or as you're saying. I found that really hard.
It's a different way to approach completely to what I ever usually do.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I wanted to be important is, as you saw, it's kind of difficult to have things happen suddenly. So if there's 9 of us playing, it's unlikely that even with hand cues or something, it's unlikely that all of us will all of a sudden go and go somewhere else. As the piece goes on, we're going to have changes come up on your screen. Some of them will be together, some of them won't. But the ones that come together will have a very clear sound.
It's interesting sort of, having these sort of blank commands which are kind of open to interpretation, and then having something as specific as like groups of notes and how people react to these different scenarios. I think it's really interesting to look at.
For example, how do we notate texture? How do we notate density? How do we notate emotion? Actually, even something as simple as that. It doesn't really... The updated version of the dfscore system, which runs completely in a browser now, let us do some interesting things in the workshop. The students were able to define their own composition on the fly, and we were able to sort of play the piece immediately so they can see what it felt like to compose and to think and improvise that way, which is really exciting for them to be able to sort of have that immediate feedback. So it's a different kind of mindset, and we'll talk about what that means. Composing something which will then be kind of open. So what we're going to do is I want to try to come up with some text prompts that were then going to sort of happen in the context of the piece.
Chromaticism. G altered.
G altered, yeah.
Let's go for, I know that.
Barbershop quartet.
Barbershop quartet, nice. Yeah.
F minor melodic over E7.
Oh my god, the whole time. So very different performance, and that comes across in the music as well. Like it sounds like After introducing these improvisational concepts, they were able to go into the dfscore pieces with a kind of sensitivity to the material and a sensitivity to each other that really lets them play musically while bringing their own musical identity and sensibility through. It's incredibly satisfying to be able to work with groups of people in this way. introducing them to approaches to improvisation and composition that they might not have come across otherwise.